Hello, my wonderful morning AP scholars. I thought it best now if I start helping a little bit on this. I've seen a few families' works, and overall, fairly happy with it. However, I'm a little concerned at times that we're doing more work than we need to, which means you're not really practicing properly, because bad practice equals bad results. Regardless if you think you're practicing, still it needs to be good practice equals good results. So we're going to look over this today, and I'm just going to help you give you a brief tutorial on the expectations in terms of your focus reading notes and really what is going to help you best when it comes time for the AP test in U.S. history. So as we can see on our inputs here, we'll use the example for Unit 8A here. If we were to click on something and go look at it, let's just say it is. Now that should be 8B. My apology. It should not say that. But I click on Chapter 34, or I click on Chapter 35. Obviously, this says 1 through 6. Chapter 34 says 1 through 9, but let's just choose Chapter 35, for example. So I'm going to click on the link. Before, we were on the American Yop, which we all know looks like this. So, do I love the American Yop? Absolutely I do. I think it is a brilliant rendition of history and gives you a lot of context, but also makes you think too. However, it's in paragraph format, which oftentimes can be difficult to extract information, especially if you're like me right now looking at this and reading and thinking, wow, I have a lot to read. It can be overwhelming, and I can appreciate that, which is why we made the switch over to WikiNotes and used the American Pageant 15th edition. And we have it in now outline format. Is it still a lot? Completely. However, it is more flowy, more deductive reasoning, meaning after this comes this and so forth. It's a little easier for our brains to understand, which is why when we take notes, it's often good to do outline formats and whatnot. But what then do I need to put over here that's going to help me retain information for the test? Obviously, yes, you do need to know content. But when we start looking through this, right, we start looking themes and we start seeing things. So my thing, what I would suggest you do is always read here first and see what it is about, because that's really the overall kind of picture we're looking at about America in World War II. So the shock of war, the Allies trace space for time, stuff like that. However, I definitely would avoid getting away from feeling like you have to be overwhelmed to know every little thing on the planet. So, Smith-Connolly Anti-Strike Act. Was it important? Yes, it was important because it gave the federal government the authority to seize and run industries crippled by strikes. Yes. Is it do or die in terms of everything? Probably not. If we were to go down and look more, I think something like this stands out. Manpower and women power. So, we see that there are some 15 million men and 216,000 women in the military during World War II. Not a lot of us probably knew that women served in a military capacity. Almost 250,000 women served in a military capacity in World War II. Don't know that. So that would be something I would put in there. Even the Rosario program, which brought workers from Mexico to harvest crops. That's important because in context right now we have links to today, and that helps us. We can see that more. So those are the type of things that I would be looking at. So I'd be looking at the bigger things. Obviously, it is good to read and know terms, dates, everything, but we're trying to look for the bigger picture. So to me, that one really is a big one. And the fact that women right here, 2-2, women stepped up and took the war jobs. So men went off to war. We won the war because of our supply line and because we outpaced our opponents. Plain and simple. And women, you played a vital role to that. So without women, World War II does not make sense in terms of a victory for America. So that's the important thing that I would be putting over in my notes there versus writing all these A. Philip Randolph stuff. So when you're going through it, think about it like that as you read through. So even if I were to scroll down here and I look at this paragraph, yes, admirals are very important. I totally understand that. But why is the Battle of the Coral Sea super important? Because it's the first big U.S.-Japan naval battle, and it's the world's first naval battle where the ships never saw one another. Basically, this means aircraft carriers. So this is a hugely important moment because now we're changing technology from one thing to another thing. That's important, and that's why we would put it in. So as you go through, think about that stuff when you're looking at it, when you're reading it, which is why I say as a family, we work together, because it kind of gets overloaded sometimes if you have to do all these. So if we can divide and conquer where you only have to do one or two, I think you can devote more time looking through this and finding the big things that you're going to need, so that way when it does come time to study, you can look at the focus reading notes and have a better understanding of it. So I hope that's helped out. If you need any help, please give me a holler on any platform, no problem. But remember, I am here for you to help you with the AP test. Do your best. I'm confident you all will do just fine. But again, there is a methodology to this, and we need to start working with it. So take care, guys. Bye.